Hi, my name is Jafar Pettyford, and welcome to the CultureShare show. Today's show is very special because it's featuring kids, so sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Jammer, rock your body. Me and this beauty from Venezuela. First off Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, hello again, I am Harold PYSADEE, and it's great to welcome you to another edition of CultureShare. And for the next hour, we'll be featuring some of the best in Caribbean and African American entertainment. And we'll be having something like 3 features on the kids this week. Our first performer is a pioneer in the calypso business. As kids, most of us listened to him sing calypso in the Caribbean. He is Kelvin Pope, the Duke. We were happy to be there to catch him live performing his big one for 1992 called the Funganung.
Anything you had sweet is Funganung. Alright, let me see everybody now. This party time. Are you ready? Are you ready? Alright, we going. 1. Everybody, let me see you. I want your hand. Wait a minute. Give me a chair wine. I want a chair wine. A chair wine. A chair wine. Don't go. Right it. A chair wine. Give me a chair wine. A slow wine. Woo! Soca. I tell him it's soca. But the Japanese partner boom. Telling me no, this is Funganung. Soca. I repeat the soca. Still, the Japanese partner boom. Continue to call it Funganung. Whining as a trailer, your blood. Jamming like it going wild. For your intoxication, friend, getting on pretty, that's sad. Call it sweet and sweet. Oh yeah, yeah, that's Funganung, sweet and sweet. Oh, sauce. Call it sweet and sweet. Oh yeah, that's Funganung, really sweet. Whining on the beach, jumping on the street, calling on the beat, oh, you're Funganung, sweet, 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 sweet and sweet. Oh, yeah, that's Funganung, sweet and sweet, sweet, oh, sweet, oh, calling it sweet and sweet. Oh, yeah, that's Funganung, really sweet, sweet, sweet. Whining on the beach, jumping on the street, I wonder, oh, it's Funganung, sweet, 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 sweet. Oh, yo, yo. Over and over. But all I beg and partner boom, he still saying this is Funganung wonder. He making me wonder. Maybe in the translation, Funganung is soca in Japan. Here we are friend from the country. Misunderstanding for sure. Scramble, I'm telling the party. Friend, and Funganung is here on the floor. Calling it sweet and sweet. Can't hear you. Oh yeah, yeah. The Funganung really sweet. Can't hear you. Let me hear you. The calling it sweet and sweet. Oh. Winding on the beat, jamming on the street, hanging on the beat, oh yeah, yeah, coconut sweet, 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 oh yeah, yeah, the coconut really sweet, oh gosh, sweet, 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 oh yeah, yeah, the coconut really sweet, sweet, winding on the beat, jamming on the street, I want that sweet, oh yeah, the coconut sweet, sweet, sweet. I want to coconut. Oh yeah, yeah, I want the coconut. Yeah, you want the coconut. Oh yeah, yeah, I want the coconut. You look like you're really coconut. Oh yeah, yeah, I want the coconut. Darling, come here, coconut. Oh yeah, yeah, I want the coconut. Winding on the beat, jamming on the street, telling all the beat. Oh yeah, yeah, the coconut. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Oh, oh.
One of the best dressed men in the calypso business, Duke, doing the funganung on CultureShare. Get your slice and share your slice. You know, it's always a pleasure to see kids involved in the playing of steel band. It makes you think that the art form is really here to stay. And so we were quite happy to be there when the Sesame Flyers Steel Band Orchestra played some very good soca music. Now, if you see these kids today, you may not recognize them because this was just a few years ago, and you know how fast the kids grow these days. But this is the way they were back then. the Sesame Flyers International Steel Orchestra on CultureShare. We'll be right back. A very special public school in Brooklyn was in a very celebrative mood as they got together for a special occasion. Look. A few weeks ago, CultureShare visited PS 167 to bring to the kids a taste of carnival in the Caribbean. It was all part of Project Harmony put on by the school. That served as a precursor to the main event that was held last week. The sun was shining, and so were the happy faces of the kids of PS 167 in Brooklyn as they got together last week for their Project Harmony Street Parade. The atmosphere was beaming with youthful radiance. Before the kids took to the streets, there was an impressive ceremony on the school grounds located on Schenectady and Eastern Parkway. Among the guests was Brooklyn's Borough President Howard Golden, who spoke to CultureShare.
Brooklyn is the best place in the world. We have over 90 different ethnic groups living together in a rather small area, but basically getting along together, learning about each other's differences, and that's what is the strength of Brooklyn, the fact that people are different. We wouldn't want to be all the same, looking the same, acting the same, doing the same things. I think the richness of our diversity is what makes us great, and we should take from the cultures of different people and really bring them out so that we have a shining mosaic of Brooklyn, as the mayor says all the time.
That's right, that's right. I agree with you, and I just would like to ask you, what do you think, or what are your opinions on the programs that you think children in our community today, which they really don't have, what do you see happening for the children in our community?
Well, first of all, we do have programs. What the problem is that we don't have enough of the programs. And one of the things that I have been fighting for years when I was in the city council as chairman of health and education was to open up the schools not only to children all day and all night, but also to adults, to their parents. The school is a marvelous resource, but we're not using it often enough and well enough. And I think that if we opened it up to people who could come in and learn a second language, to people who would be able, seniors, adults, who would be able to come in here and have arts and crafts and enjoy other things, to let the youth have a place to play basketball and to enter into chess tournaments and all of the other things that kids would like to do. Our schools really should be used for fun and education.
Brooklyn's Borough President Howard Golden speaking with G.B.T.V's John Wilson. Also gracing the ceremony with their presence were Dr. Sharon Gunn, Director of the Office of Cultural Education, Winston Monroe of Pantrinbago, Brooklyn, Linda Price from Councilman Enoch Williams' office, and Richard Bartlett from the Mayor's office. Two of the students of PS 167 came to do two beautiful recitations with some glorious lyrics, Randy Lyle and Natalie Claude. We begin first with Randy, to be followed by Natalie.
To make peace and harmony, you need a brain. You need the knowledge you have to gain. Black or white, it doesn't make a difference if we keep on killing for nonsense. Look deep in your heart and soul and try to reach your best and highest goal. Brothers and sisters, black and white, we should come together so we can unite. It's the way we have to live, so give while there still is hope. It's your life, you'll have to cope with it. So do the best you can to save man. The word with the P is prejudice, the other with the H is heritage. One is good and one is bad, the one with the H can make it glad. It's not always white and not always black, there's always some, and that's the fact. The world with the P, we should mold it through and make it a better place for me and you.
Peace and harmony, that's what we need. Don't you agree? So why do we doubt and why do we shout? Italian American, African American, Jewish American. But what's the big difference? We all Americans living in a democratic land. No man is an island, so reach your fellow man. Don't you understand? We need each other. Let's move on together. Korean American, Chinese American, Japanese American. But what's the big difference? We all Americans living in a democratic land.
And then the students took to the streets, displaying different islands of the Caribbean and banners portraying progressive messages.
They say they're taking a chance on Trini Soca. That carnival fever was fire, fire. Baptism for all, they hot like pepper. There was no turning back now. I heard the masses say, Miami Soca Carnival is here to stay. Everybody jumping up for Carnival Day. Everybody jumping in the hot sun all day. Nobody ain't leaving here till the break of day.
And we do like to congratulate Principal Liddy of 167, PS 167, Suzanne Locks, and the rest of the staff for bringing together the students of the various ethnicities together for this carnival-like celebration. All on CultureShare. Get your slice and share your slice. This next performer is a teacher Calypsonian from Grenada. We caught him live in Grenada performing at the 1988 Dimanche Gras Calypso Finals. He's the bubbler, and he's given us some meaningful lyrics in this calypso called Systems.
Dogman ideology is what really killing we. Which feels his burden is the heaviest, but neglecting the nation's interests. With flattery and promises to fit each up our disposition. Corrupt Politicians contaminating human mental, but too much cook does spoil the pot. Caribbean people had enough. Give the people what they want, things to be done, too much old talk. But it's only a system and system. Look, you have all Caribbean people suffering. Boy, get rid of the easy man schism. OECS unity we demanding. It's only a system and system. Lord is only talk, politicians talking. Boy, get rid of the easy man schism. For practically nothing really happening. Bam, 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 bam. Trouble in the Caribbean, only problem, hardly any solution. And still the leaders can understand is this system, cause now the corruption. Well, Eugenia, Blaise and Adlam, Simmons, Mitchell, Beabod and John Compton should seize the time for this union. In unity we could be so strong if we put our dreams to reality and achieve OECS unity. With more trading and linkage industry, the Caribbean would be a place to be. But it's only a system and system. Look, you have all Caribbean people suffering. Boy, get rid of the easy man schism. OECS unity we demanding. It's only a system and system. Lord is only talk, politicians talking. Boy, get rid of the easy man schism. For practically nothing really happening. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. The Caribbean is an identity. Our people must hold on to their history. Our culture we must understand is a root and a foundation. Well, look, still pan facing extinction, all because of foreign competition and the influence of television. Ruining the Caribbean, we must shake ourselves to reality, holding on to what belongs to it to avoid this cultural erosion. We must combat it as one nation. But it's only a system and system. Look, you have all Caribbean people suffering. Boy, get rid of the easy man schism. OECS unity we demanding. It's only a system and system. Lord is only talk, politicians talking. Boy, get rid of the easy man schism. For practically nothing really happening. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.
A calypso appropriate then and still appropriate now. Bubbler with Systems. We'll be back. Our next performer is a gentleman that truly keeps the artistic quality of calypso alive. He is Hollis Liverpool, the Chalk Dust. Here he is performing in Trinidad at the Calypso Spectacular tent for Carnival 1992, and this is Trinidad Ain't Change, the country just rearrange.
A friend of mine who left here in 1962, he came back home last month looking so blue. After 29 years away, he found Trinidad change, he said. He said he couldn't even make out Maracas Bay. Chalky, where is Tourist Annie? What happened to Butler Patty? What about DPO, PPG and DLP? I told the visitor we just changed names down here, but Trinidad is still the same way. Your beach at Maracas, we changed rooms when you were here last. Robbie put them in Tobago at Stop Bay. But Lordy Rabble Rouser gave way to Abu Bakr. Both end up in jail in Carrera. Partner, your party POPBG is now NAR completely. DLP changed the name to UNC. Trinidad ain't changed, the country just rearranged. Trinidad ain't changed, the country just rearranged. Am I wrong? What I do, did I do? What I did, I do. I say Tourist Annie, she does still dress up for soul, but now she on stage singing calypso. Then he asked me for composer, conqueror, power and mighty bomber. I said the soca boat capsize and they get lashed with rudder. Chalky, where all them prostitutes gone, where by John Gold Teeth and Baron. Where is Crazy Mahal, John Craig and Cuthbert Britain? I say, we still have Cuthbert here, they in the Coast Guard. Cussing is the custom in that Coast Guard. And them regiment boys like they're feeding them on custard. Mad Mahal and Russia, who spoke madness in Woodford Square, move over to the Red House to talk madness there. Prostitutes like Jean and Dinah, Bubble Ups and Bengal Tiger, they are now Mrs. Clark and Mrs. Doris Mark in Federation Park. Bad Johns like Cutouter, Eddie Bumlil, Axe and Dana, hand over to the school children, they gun and razor. Trinidad ain't changed, the country just rearranged. It may look strange, Trinidad ain't changed, the country just rearranged. Bye. But I do, I die. Yeah, I do. He asked me for them old foul teeth from Carnage. Are those nasty George Street pimps still at large? I say them foul teeth now running club, and his Calypsonians now they does rob. And them nasty long time pimps now singing rap and dub. Chalky, where them criminals like Boise sing. What happened to Princess Building? Where me done see friends, where them Syrian with bad clothes selling. I say, Syrians still making money. They just send girls newling for them daily. And they making more records than me and Kitschy. Princess Building of yesteryear with Ice House Johnson and Mirama. They squeeze all of them inside the Twin Tower. Your Dunsey friends are now at UE, still failing English with big BSc. And some of them can't pass nurses exam in a century. Bad Johns like we can't lose, half of them with Bible and cross. The rest of them now join the police force. Trinidad and change.
Yeah, that's the Chalk Dust doing Trinidad and Change, the country just rearranged on CultureShare. You know, Le Rock Bay Dance Theatre is one of the most prestigious theatres in New York City, and CultureShare paid a visit to meet some of the people involved in the running of the theatre. Our reporter is Atonia Pettiford.
On the way to the famed Le Rock Bay studio, you can't help but notice the many street vendors with lots of merchandise to choose from. And of course, the famous Apollo Theater. As we arrived at the studio, the students were warming up for their upcoming dance productions. Right after that, we'll be meeting two of the directors of the Le Rock Bay studio.
We're here at the Le Rock Bay School of Dance Theater, located at the Harlem YMCA. And today my guests are Luther Fontaine, Executive Director.
Hello, nice to be here.
Thank you. And Anthony Wooden, the Artistic Director.
How are you?
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to start out by asking you, Luther, the school has been here since 1960 in Harlem. I mean, give us the background of the Le Rock Bay. It's something that I've always grew up with.
Okay, well, that's really good because I don't think I have to say too much except for a few people who have not, heard of us, and we have about two or three generations generations that have come through the school, and then next we have other generations who haven't heard of us, but generations of people who are sons and daughters of those who have been here before. And we've been here since 1960. I've been associated with the school since 1969, coming from Kansas City, Missouri, and loving dance as it is. And Le Rock Bay has been a great influence on the Harlem community and New York State, as well across the United States and overseas, because he's made his trip over there. And it's been officially 32 years in Harlem, here. And has been a full-time cultural center, as well as a place for, finding talent, developing it, and moving on. So basically, 32 years, here in Harlem. We're working on our 33rd. And and we're having a good time, doing it. Unfortunately, the late, great Mr. Le Rock Bay has, passed away, but his spirit is still here. And Anthony can tell us much more. He's our artistic director.
Okay. Would you like to add something to the background of the school?
Yes. I started with the Le Rock Bay School of Dance Theater when I was 13 years old. I'm now 32 years old, so we can imagine how many years that was. And when I started, actually, I viewed a performance in the street. It was a street festival, which Le Rock Bay School of Dance Theater was always famous for, bringing talent and culture and the festivals out to the community in the street. I saw the company perform, and I was just really amazed. I saw the men dancing, strong, jumping and leaping, and I wanted to take part. So I came and I joined the school, and
the rest is history. Now I'm here as artistic director, and I would like to keep that going. I would like to keep the performances in the streets, in the community, so that other youngsters can also have the inspiration to continue their culture and also get off the streets, really, because that's what it's really all about, having the children doing something other than being on the street. Yes.
The philosophy of the teaching here, the teaching of the youth, do you want to add something to that?
Yes, to pick up off of what Anthony said, is that when he said keeping the youth off the street, right now, Mayor Dinkins is talking about safe streets, and this is a, quote, new term, but basically, as Anthony mentioned, the LaRock Bay School of Dance, with the leadership of Mr. LaRock Bay, has always been of that particular philosophy, and it's crime preventive, it's drug preventive, and it's totally structured so that it would be culturally enlightening as well as socially responsible as well. So those are the things that we are continuing. And as Anthony said, when he got a chance to see LaRock Bay at a performance, I think of like a block party, well, when I first came here, I saw him at Cooper Union at the New York, what college is that college? In the Village. NYU, right, okay. And Cooper Union. And the thing is, my dance background was so similar, I was excited, so that's how I became part of it. And which means that when they say outreach, programs, and it's a word that is implemented on a regular basis through this particular organization.
I was watching the classes, and I noticed the discipline that you bring forth to the children when you're teaching them. Does anyone want to add anything to that?
Yes, well, discipline is extremely important, especially in the dance field, because we want them to be able to go any and everywhere, not just at the LaRock Bay School of Dance Theater, but if they want to pursue in maybe jazz or tap or ballet or going out in the field, they would have to have that discipline wherever they go. Also, it's important for them to have discipline in their life. Period. So by them learning it here at the school, they can extend that discipline in their journeys through life. So,
well, I want to thank you both for spending some time with us. I just want you to repeat the time and the place of the concert again.
Okay. The date is June the 28th. The day is Sunday. The time is 4 o'clock sharp, and it's $20 donation for our reserved seating, and it will feature children, teens, and adults, and it will be approximately a regular presentation of about 2.5 hours, and it'll be a lot of fun.
And the phone number, if someone wants to call for tickets, they can dial.
That's 212-926-0188. And in the tradition of LaRock Bay School of Dance Theater, we would like to welcome you, and we'd like to welcome everyone out there. And with Anthony's assistance, we say, Funga, Alafia, Ashe, Ashe.
Something I grew up with.
Right. Funga means welcome. Alafia means how are you, and Ashe means fine and good. That's your response.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you for spending time with us. Don't want to miss the concert, and this is Tanya Pettyford with G.B.T.V. Back to you, Harold.
Thank you very much, Tanya, and I love that share, how it augments the presentation you did there. Keep on going. We'll be back. LaRock Bay School of Dance Theater presents Black, Cultured and Beautiful 92, an African, jazz, Caribbean and gospel review. New Faces and Talents of 1992, featuring LaRock Bay School of Dance, the entire student body. LaRock Bay dancers and drummers and workshops, also featuring Reverend Dr. Lillian Barclay, Sherilyn Woods, George Canton and the Martin Luther King Youth Choir. Plus special guest appearance from WBLS 107.5 FM radio, Quiet Storms, Velvet Voice, Mr. Vaughn Harper, and Hall of Famer Mr. Earl the Pearl Monroe of the 1972-73 World Champion Knickerbockers. It's all at the Symphony Space, Broadway, at 95th Street, New York City, Sunday, June 28th, 1992. Silver Sands Travel and Tours, they're having that special direct non-stop service to Grenada via the Lockheed 1011 aircraft on BWIA, and departing August 2nd and 3rd and returning August 16th and 17th. It's the wide-bodied aircraft, and the price of the ticket is $450. Make your reservations right now. Silver Sands Travel and Tours, organizing for Carnival in Grenada 1992, a special direct non-stop service on BW's Lockheed 1011 wide-bodied aircraft. Call them today and make your bookings now. This is where we leave you this week. Join us again, same time, same place for another great show. And we leave you with something that we promised you from last week, the extempo bit that Gypsy and Relator started. Here they are now to continue in that vein, and they'll be joined by some other big names in the calypso business. Peace.
Relator low, look, I am telling you flat, why you bringing beautiful Barbados in that? Believe me, my boy, you must have a care. Are you insulting all the Bajans in here? Well, that is something that you shouldn't do after they pay so much money to come and see you. Oh no, Relator, take that to yourself. Better you sing and go and try something else.
You talking about all the money they paying me, but up to now I ain't get me salary. And Gypsy, you know what I mean. I think we have to go and look for Miss Soca Jean, because with all these people we have in here, I know we go get paid, but we have to get she before she disappear. So I want you to know it's time that we close off this extempo.
Relator boy, well, I don't want you to fret. I ain't ready to close off this extempo as yet, even though I understand just what you mean. In order to get cash, you have to go and look for Jean. But it's alright if she don't want to give cash to me. That is a lady that I find that look real pretty. As the merchant of Venice, it is plain to see. No money, I'll take upon her flesh for security.
Now I disgusted and I feel that Gypsy is too fresh. How the hell he could be talking about a pound of flesh? I mean, this fella, I have no reason at all. And I'm gonna tell you all something to make this Gypsy ball. Now he looking to go to bed with Soca Jean. That is something I find is a weird scene. You see this fella here, poor Jean is in a damn wheelchair. Advantage will never done.
Relator boy, what is wrong with you? What it is you are trying to say for true? The way you sung and I find that you sung real dread. All you hear me say anything about going to bed. Oh no, my friend, I would tell you why. That is not what Gypsy trying to imply. When I say upon her flesh, don't get on that scene. It is not going to bed with her, is what I mean.
Curtain call. So ladies and gentlemen, before we go, we want to introduce some of the people who perform on the show. So Ken Fillmore, you must understand, we want a special hand for the fella beating the pan.
And another thing that I want you to understand, I can't help but call the great John Agitation. Come on stage, it is plain to see. We need you standing here side by side with we.
It looked like Sprang Alang was drinking plenty rum. You notice?
He had to come, that is the thing. Well, say what you like. Can't you see he is standing behind the mic? He forget exactly what he have to do. Forget he's a comedian like he want to extempo too. Oh no, 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 no. Sprangy, you are right. That is right where we want to have you up here tonight.
So before we close off all the fun, another gentleman is Mr. Errol Fabian. So
I want to tell you, let's understand. How about a hand for the legend, Mr. Bill Trotman? Even tonight, he didn't go down well, but that is something that everybody have to tell. Mr. Bill Trotman, well, don't feel ashamed. I proclaim him great. All the same.